Hey everybody, real quick, let's just jump into it. I'm trying to do some water management again today, but I'm going to try to take it into two different steps. The first step is get the trimmer, cut as much stuff as I can around the guest house kura and around the shed back here and the other kura. I'm just going to put a new blade on the trimmer right here, and then after I cut as much as I can, I'm going to see what I can do as far as trenching and making some kind of waterway so that the water can actually get out away from both of the kuras and the shed. Let's take a look. Okay, here's the trimmer. I'm going to take the trimmer line off and replace it with a brand new blade. Now that I've got most of the little stuff cut, I can put the nice new sharp blade on and cut the heavy stuff. Let's take a quick look at the two main areas that I'm going to be cutting. You remember from, I think, the last video, I pulled all of the vines down from the kura. That actually happened a few weeks ago, but today I think is the 27th? 28th? This is the extra little shed that technically isn't on my property, but my neighbors, they say it's mine. Historically, it did belong to this property. But anyway, the building itself I'm not too worried with. However, if we go up here, you can see sometimes they actually cut this grass. My neighbor cuts this grass, but they haven't touched it too much. You can see where I did a little trimming here, but they usually cut up to like right here and only cut this if it gets really bad. But you can see down through here, it's just kind of out of control. So I'm going to do what I can with my blade in there. That's one area. But the shed is back here. This is the side entrance to my kura, and you can see it goes right through over to the house and into the backyard. That dark area right there, I don't know if you can see it on the video or not, but that's where the stone wall is. And that stone wall extends all the way around. It wraps all the way around the back of the property, all the way around to the other side past the guest house kura. And the problem is that the water not only coming off the roof of these buildings here, but also just coming through the wall back there, it keeps these areas just absolutely soaking wet. And that's why this shed back here is leaning a little bit to the left here and a lot back. The good thing is that the stone wall is back there, so I don't think the building can easily collapse if it's leaning that direction. But I do need to figure out how to get that water out of there so that the ground can actually have a chance to dry. Between this building, yeah, look at all that wood I've got up there. Pretty nice, huh? And then the kura here. Once again, I've got a massive store of tiles. Tons of them here, but that's not all. If you walk up here and you look over behind this building, there are even more tiles back here. But I just noticed that there's actually, if you can see that, there's actually a cinder block wall right there. And it just looks to me like it's kind of marking the boundary between my neighbor's house or their property rather, and my property. And they've got their little trees over here and their flowers and stuff just right on the other side of that wall. So it looks like right on the other side of this wall, they've got it all kind of taken care of, and it's just out of control over here on my side. So there's so much junk in here. I definitely don't have the energy and the wherewithal to clean up all this stuff, all these tiles and everything right now. But I do want to try and cut some of this grass as best I can so that when it does rain, hopefully I can get some of this water away from the buildings. This drain, there is a drain right here that I found. This one goes down into the ground. Might be a little stopped up. I'm going to check it in a little bit. Let's go look at the other place now. As you can see, it's a nice sunny day today. It's around 3 o'clock right now. I got kind of a late start because I was in bed until, well, I was asleep until after 10, but I didn't get out of bed until almost 11 o'clock. I really needed the rest. That's the thing. Sometimes I just really need to stay in the bed and relax. I can see the salamanders in there today, but the water is just a little bit murky, so I can't see them very easily. I think it would be awesome if I had a great internet connection to install a camera here, like right underneath here, that was just 24/7 live feed of my salamanders. I think that would be funny. And here's the leaking water coming right out of the wall here, right? And right across into the rice fields. Okay. And here's my mini river. You can see where the water is just constantly flowing. And it hasn't rained for a couple of days here, and yet the water coming from the mountain and through my wall, it's just non-stop coming down through here. The other area that I'm talking about that I really want to cut is right here. It's in front of the guest house kura, around these two trees. And between the wall and the guest house kura is the main area. This is like a jungle. And I just have this bad feeling that there are like lots of snakes in there. That's just my gut feeling. But I'm going to try my best to just, keep an eye out on what I'm cutting. And, with a nice fresh blade, I shouldn't have any problems. These rubber boots will offer some protection. They're not snake proof, but I think that with the trimmer, I can kind of protect myself with that. Let's go around and look at the other side right quick. You hear that? It's got to be like a wild boar. Something just went crazy a moment ago when I tripped on that. It really kind of set it off. Huh. Interesting. You can see it's just completely soaked, right? The water just non-stop filling up. In this whole back area, it stays wet. From here all the way down here and all the way around the kura, it stays wet. At least a couple inches of water, just constantly full. And it's dribbling non-stop from the wall, from a few different places in the wall. So what I'm thinking is to make some kind of trench that goes from here and stays away from the house, stays away from the kura, and gets all the way out to the drain in the road. That's what I really want. Let's go take a look over here at the hole that I dug. If you saw my last video where I was over here next to the kura and digging, you'll remember that when I dug this hole, I got to water, right? So obviously this is bad because the sandy soil, the very squishy sandy soil in the water, just 1 foot down, it just shows that this whole area is just too saturated with water. It's too wet. So what I really need to do is get this stuff cleared out of here and find a way to trench the water out so that the soil can dry. It's going to take a while, but since it's, summer's going to be here soon, I really feel that if I can get the water rerouted across the road and into the rice fields, then what will happen is that this summer will be a great, perfect opportunity for this all to dry out, and then it will look and be much nicer, and it'll also solve some erosion issues that are happening in different parts of the land. But anyway, this is the second area that needs to be cut, and that's what I'm going to try to do. So let's go change the blade. Okay, got my gloves, got the blade on. Just wanted to show you right quick some more lovely flowers that I have blooming right in the backyard. And for those of you who know flowers, you can post it in the comments. What type of flowers are these? Got a big bush of these growing right here where the mountain water is coming in through the wall. Yeah, you can see right there the water coming in non-stop through a few places in the wall, and this is like the perfect spot for these flowers to grow. They're very beautiful. I want to trim up this area, but these beautiful flowers, I would hate to cut them down. Hopefully I can cut around them. I can keep the flowers and cut everything else. But I noticed that more and more this year, even more than last, these fern type plants, I haven't seen them bloom any flowers, but they look interesting. I'd like to keep those in the areas where I plan to have, water, like a pond or whatever. I think they look really nice. But anyway, let's get back to cutting. Just as a side note, for those of you who are watching up to this point, please comment and tell me what you think I should do back here. Like back here in the backyard, I was thinking about a few different things. Should I have like a koi pond, or which is I think more high maintenance, or should I try to do some type of natural bath, like a hot bath, or a pool, or whatever? Just post in the comments. Let me know what you think I should do here. I'm curious to know what your ideas are. I put it off long enough. Time to go cut grass. Every time I see this pot, I feel so sad. Okay. This is my target area right up here. This looks like cat litter. I'm not sure what it is, but okay. So I've got another ladder over here. This one isn't as big as the other one. It looks to be about maybe 12 feet long, or a little longer. But I'm going to move the wood here and this ladder out of the way, and then a couple of these other pieces, try to move them out of the way, and then just get to cutting. You can see that I've got some trees and debris to move, so I'll just get into it. It's possible I won't have any time to work around the other kura, but at the very least I can dig into this and do what I can. So probably going to get another fire started for all this junk. Let's get started. Okay, I'm taking a break. This is one of those instances where I have in my mind what I want to get done within a certain amount of time, but then I'm reminded of two things. Number one, nothing around here that needs to be done is easy or quick. This is not one of those YouTube channels where I say, hey everybody, I bought this really nice empty house in Akiya or an abandoned house, and let's check it out. And when I open the door for the first time and I go in, it's clean, and all I really have to do is like sweep the floor and mop it, and I can move right in. It doesn't work that way around here. The way it appears to work with everything inside and outside of the house is that when you look at it, you think, oh, I'll just do that right quick. It's a small area. Like, for example, this is a small area of the yard, so I'll just, hurry up and cut it and rake it and burn everything, and I'll finish that, and then I'll go to the other side and do that side, and I can do that all today. Right. Just a 10-foot by 10-foot area over here is a lot more work than it took me to cut my entire front and backyard back in the US. The reason is because even when that yard would get overgrown and I needed to edge it and cut it, it was still not basically 30 years of out of control nonsense, right? At best, it was maybe a month of uncontrolled nonsense. But this is like unbelievable. You can actually see the height difference between where the dirt is and where everything else is. I'm about to show you right now. But I can say this, there's no way that I'm going to get to the other kura today. And on top of that, furthermore, there's no way I'm going to get everything over here done today. Because not only was there that first point of things being so much more than you think it is, but there's the second point, which is my energy. I'm very tired. Just doing this small section that I did today has worn me out. My kidney is aching, actually. And I'm so tired. If I want to do more tomorrow, then I'm definitely going to need to get some rest. I can't overdo it. But I want to show you what I did, show you the pile that I've made, plus the extra stuff that I did over here to the side. And then maybe, depending on how I feel, maybe I'll light a fire today, but I might not do that because a lot of the stuff that I cut down is still alive. I'd like to give it a chance to die before I toss it on the fire. Plus, it's a lot of stuff. I don't think I have the energy to drag it all around to the fire today. But let's take a look. Okay, here's the first thing. Over here to the right, this is just a pile of leaves and grass that I cut. I have been piling it up over here, if you notice, just piling it up close to the wall. And I'll have to come back later to get all of that up and burn it. And this is just one pile, one extra pile that I've put right here. And you can basically see I've gone all the way up to this post right here. This post is basically the only thing left holding up this piece in the corner of the kura. And it's dangerous to be right there for a couple of reasons. One is when that post comes down, probably all of that stuff right there is going to come down with it. The other thing is, if you look up a little bit higher, where the roof is, the tiles on the roof where it's sagging down, it's dangerous to be underneath that area. And if you look, right down here, I need to go along the side to finish cutting. So right here in the center of the video, right here, I need to go in there and cut, right? I need to cut all of this and go through there. But if you go straight up, you notice that that's right below this dangerous area of the roof. And at any time, a tile, piece of wood, or a limb could just fall off there. So I need to be careful when I'm going through there. And you can also see that there's more tile right in here on this part of the roof. So this whole area, I just have to be careful. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to film a vertical video to make a short of taking this middle piece down, just trying to knock it down, and hopefully it all kind of just falls straight down without any major damage to anything else, especially me. And then maybe from there it'll be a little safer to cut around here, right? But for now, you can see all of that. Huge pile of tile. Most all of this tile has come from over there because it's been falling off this roof. I've just been piling it up right here. I'll have to take it out later. And now I'm going to show you, this is all of the stuff. Now keep in mind, I cleaned this out before, okay? Let me move the camera over a little bit so it's easier to see. Okay. Remember that I cleaned this area out through here, so you could walk through here. I could walk through here from the back of the house to the front. But I want you to look at all of this brush and all these limbs and things that I've pulled out and tossed here. Isn't that crazy? All of this just from over here. So this one little area, it's not even a 10-foot square. I said 10 by 10. It's kind of round, but it's not even quite a 10-foot by 10-foot area. Oh. Did you hear that? While I'm standing on this concrete, it shifted below my feet. That's actually another thing I want to show you right quick. But anyway, this area took a lot of work. Just, it's like an 8-foot circle. But there's something else. But I'm standing here on this concrete, okay? There's concrete on the ground and it's cracked everywhere. And just take a look at how, look at how it's all cracked up and unlevel. You see that? This big piece here is leaning down to the right. These pieces here are poking up to the left. This one's poking up. I was just standing here. This is where the camera was. I was just standing here, and suddenly the ground just went just a little bit while I was standing on it. Kind of spooky, huh? I don't know what's under there. I don't know, how much the ground has shifted, and I don't know what's going on underneath, or if it's safe to be standing on. Right out here is the salamander area. So if there's like water going under here, feeding that, maybe it's causing erosion underneath. Maybe that's why. But take a look at how it's just the concrete is so cracked and sticking way up. See that? And over here, see that? And if I turn the camera around, you can really see it better here, and how unlevel it is, right? I don't know if you can see that, but right here there's a crack that goes. Now all of this is concrete, by the way. Everything here is concrete, all the way from the front of the house all the way down here. All of this is concrete, and there's a crack that goes from this part right here all the way down there, and there's a big dip in the middle here where this is slanting down and this is slanting down. And if we walk over here, you can see the big cracks right there too, right? You walk over here, Of course, everything here is built to slope down to channel the water away from the house, right? So even if it comes off the eave up here, it's just going to go in this the kind of little gully here. It's been acting as a catch for all the leaves, the mud, the dirt, and everything is piled up a lot. I've cleaned it out a lot, and you can see over here where I did some more raking earlier, it's still wet. All of this wet, nasty mud and all these leaves and this junk here, it was here, and I took a while to rake it all out. I didn't get all of it because it was tiring me out, and I didn't want to spend too much time on that. I wanted to get to that corner, but it's nasty, right? These leaves here that I raked up the other day are from this area right over here, and they're almost dry. Same thing with those two piles there, so I can take those and burn those maybe tomorrow. Once again, though, you can see up here the concrete is cracked there. It's cracked there. It's kind of a strange concrete job because there's the original stone that was put down a long time ago that goes all the way around the border of the house, and that's still in place. But there's this big, concrete. In some places it's like this thick, in some places it's very thin, and it goes all the way around the house. And it's just shoved up in places. It's so uneven. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera right now, but when you're walking through here, you have to really pay attention because of, number one, it's uneven. It's super uneven. There's parts where it's down, it's sinking down, and parts where it's sticking up. And also it's possible when you step onto it, it gives way. It cracks and it falls kind of through, and you don't know how deep it is. I don't know. So I'm kind of concerned about that. But anyway, I'm going to save this for the next video. I've been waiting a long time to share this because I didn't know if there was just I didn't know the proper way or time to share this, but there is this major erosion issue under the house right here. And I'm not going to give you the details of it just yet because I'm going to save it for its own video. I plan to shoot it very soon just so you can see what's going on. This is the number one most important issue of the house right now that I need to have addressed. But in order to get it assessed and fixed properly, it's going to cost a lot of money. And that's something I'm just going to have to find a temporary way to deal with for now, and then hopefully get the money to have it professionally fixed later. But anyway, very, very important issue, but I'll introduce that to you a little later. It is related to the erosion and erosion issues here at the house. It's a very, very important matter that needs to be addressed as soon as possible. Once again, it's a beautiful sunset. It's about to happen in a little while. I need to take a break and relax. It doesn't feel like I did too much today because I didn't get done what I was hoping to get done. But like I said before, it always seems to be a lot more to chew than I expect, and I'll just keep plugging away, but for now I'll take a rest. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you all have a great evening. Arigatou gozaimasu.